What's going on, everybody? Are we even live? Sauce Access. Are we live?
It says it is.
We are live. Yeah, it says we're live. My bad. My fault. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, joined as always with his co-host Kaelyn, and we have a special guest today. We have Braxton Stallnaker. I write it down, and then when it comes game time, I'm all bleh, but I'm pretty sure I got it right. Yeah. All right. Cool. Braxton, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Like Kaelyn mentioned, it's almost the end of the week. It's Friday, so it can't get much better than that.
All right. So you are going to be competing tomorrow for 559 fights in the grappling portion.
Yes, sir.
So tell us a little bit more about how that came to be.
So I've been working 24/7, and I was on night shift, I think Tuesday, and my coach, Cody Sons, actually reached out to me and said, "Hey, they got a spot for grappling. It's this Saturday. Do you want to grapple?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Like, that's what I like to do. So I like to compete. I like to grapple. So let's get it." So that's exactly
late notice, huh?
Yeah, yeah, but I tend to stay in shape. I try to stay in shape in case things like that happen.
So no, you don't have to cut any weight then, I'm assuming, or not too much anyway.
No, not too much. I try and walk around at my normal weight, which is around 145, in case I need to go up or go down to compete, and I just keep it level at that.
Mm-hmm. And what weight is this? What weight class are you in?
We'll be competing at 145 tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about jiu-jitsu or how those matches work. Do you already have an opponent that you know of, or how does that process work for jiu-jitsu?
I don't know the opponent. I barely even look at the opponents, especially when it comes to grappling. But usually they just set you up. In a tournament style, it's completely different, but for 559, they usually just set you up with someone similar to your weight class, if not the same weight, and then skill level. So skill level especially.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it does matter, your experience, how many years or however long you've been doing it?
Yeah, a lot. Yep.
Okay, so this is not a tournament.
Not a tournament, no.
Okay.
It's one-on-one.
And
now
how long have you been training for jiu-jitsu?
So I just started jiu-jitsu, actually training jiu-jitsu a solid year. So a solid year.
Nice.
But I've been grappling since I was in high school.
Wrestling? A lot of wrestling?
Yeah, doing wrestling in high school. In the military, I did some grappling. And then once I got out, I just started solely focusing on my jiu-jitsu career, just MMA all around.
So you do plan to do some MMA also?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's actually going to be competing in the MMA Fight Pass Volume 3 cage fights next month.
Oh yeah.
So man,
I'm like, wait, hold on, you're tomorrow?
Yeah, so that's the big like, oh whoa, you're doing this and then you're doing that. That's awesome. Because we've talked to fighters, like we were talking about before the show, like, do you do other competitions to prepare for fights? And is this your debut fight?
No. I've competed with 559 in the cage. Oh, for MMA?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is going to be my debut fight.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you were talking, did you start grappling? So you've been grappling a long time. Did you start in the military? Did you start in school and then continue through the military?
So I did. So first I started with wrestling. After wrestling, I realized, damn, I didn't make it to state. So, I thought all my dreams were crushed until I realized there's jiu-jitsu, there's no gi. And that opened so many doors. So I actually started learning off of YouTube in the military. And then whenever I would have my weekends off, I would go actually to San Diego and compete. I would just enter as a solo team and just compete. So I would just honestly learn off YouTube. That's all I had until I got out of the military.
What gym are you with?
Hammer Down Fight Team in Bakersfield, California.
Oh, okay, Bakersfield.
Yep.
Yep. you have a coach and training partner, Cody Sons, who we've had on the show, friend of the show. Very, very entertaining, very awesome dude.
Yeah.
You talk about, you had a goal in mind for what you wanted to do this year with grappling. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So last year of like December 2021, I promised myself that in the year 2022, by the end of the year, I would have at least 100 grappling matches and about 20 medals. So I'm about 75% there in the grappling matches. I've had tons of grappling matches since this year started.
That's awesome.
Competing every weekend. It's at first it was a stage fright, and now it's just becoming like a, hey, let's just get out there and have fun.
That's a hard one to get over.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't like being in front of people, you know, like
Yeah.
at your most vulnerable state, you're in front of everybody watching you.
Yep, for sure.
So now it's pretty normal. You're pretty comfortable. And now I guess, I know probably once you get more comfortable, you're able to actually think in there.
Yeah. Like I catch myself. I mean, my last one happened about 2 weeks ago. And I caught myself shuffling my feet. So it gets a little fun. You start thinking to yourself, hey, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could entertain the crowd with this. And just put on a show. Do what you've been taught and just go out there, have fun.
You've got some comments for you, Braxton. One from Andrew says, "Let's go, Braxton." And then Cody Sons, "My hero." I imagine that's how it was like said or typed out. So that's
that's my coach, man.
Yeah. So plenty of love from everybody from your team. Now, okay, you're almost there for your goal. Are you going to make another goal? Like, well, I've done this, competed this many times. I'm going to do now X amount of times. Like, what's that next step for you in that way?
So probably I'll edit my goal. I mean, this year I wanted to just dominate in my belt class for jiu-jitsu and just dominate. And then next year it's probably, get up a belt and then continue gaining experience and then hopefully become a world champion, especially at grappling. That's I'm not really scared of anybody, especially when it comes to grappling. So that's definitely my strong suit. I want to be a world champion. So I definitely think I have the tools to do it.
Now, is that what about MMA? Where are you at with that? Where is MMA kind of like something that's on the back burner and jiu-jitsu is like your main focus? Or are you really trying to make a career out of possibly MMA?
So I put MMA on the back burner just so I could solidify my jiu-jitsu game. Mm-hmm. And then but it's coming off the back burner and you guys are going to see that next month. So it's coming off the back burner. That's something that I love to do. I like to fight. I like to compete. I like the process, cutting weight. I love it. All that stuff just brings out the best and the worst of me, but I personally love it. I do want it to be a future career. And like I said, I believe I have the tools to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talked about competing when you were in San Diego. Where have you gone since you've been in Bakersfield? Have you gone up north? Have you gone down south? Or have you gone all over to compete?
Pretty much. So I've been Arizona, so Phoenix,
all over
Phoenix Open, all up and down California. When I just got a new car, so I only got it just so I could travel to these tournaments. So I've been to Phoenix, been to Las Vegas for the Las Vegas Open, Las Vegas, Phoenix, all up and down California. I wrestled in Iowa, just grappled everywhere, man.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I look forward to you competing in MMA on the MMA Fight Pass card because I want to see you sub somebody. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of grappling, so I expect to sub. I want to see you knock somebody out. You knock somebody out, I might boo you.
Yeah.
Just being honest, and I will be there cage side.
Yeah, it's gonna be a show, man. I expect fireworks, especially from the guy. My opponent changed already once, so it doesn't really matter who's across from me. I expect fireworks from myself. My coaches have taught me well. They push me to the limit. They tell me what's right and wrong. They show me, hey, you should probably do this and switch it up. And then I just expect fireworks, man. I think it's going to be a good show. And we got a lot of great people on that card, too.
Now, with your grappling, do you have a go-to move? Like, okay, prime example, Ronda Rousey, everyone knew her move was the armbar. Do you have a favorite hold that you like to apply or try for when you're in grappling?
I could say the head and arm triangle. So,
I'm a fan. I am a fan of that. I like that move as well.
Yeah, especially being a wrestler. If I could take them down easy and then get that side control and just get that head and arm in there, it works. And then I found techniques to where now I know it's my move because I bait them one way and then I just switch the complete other side. So that is my move. My training partners know that's my move. Yeah, it's pretty hard to beat.
Now, all right, I just gotta say it. I love leg locks. I wish they'd make a comeback. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, leg locks are a killer, man.
That's painful.
They are. They're real painful.
That's the point.
I
That's why
know,
they're fun.
I know. But if you've ever had a knee injury or leg injury, it'd probably make you cringe.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, tap right away.
Yeah, you're
Very
like,
true.
No, don't even get close.
Yep.
So how are you doing with striking and the other aspects of MMA besides your ground game?
I'm actually excelling pretty well right now. I don't have a striking background, but what's cool, especially with the gym that I'm at right now, Hammer Down Fight Team, the coaches, they show you, but they also show you what's going to work for you as a person, like how your style is. And just with me as a wrestler, they've shown me different entrances to strikes. Like I said, all the coaches there, Cody Sons, Trey Branch, they show me all these striking techniques, and it's been working pretty well. So I'm excited to test them out.
Now, would you ever compete in a smoker or anything with striking so you could get better at that? Since you seem to be, very, very fairly competent on the ground, would you do anything to get that extra boost to your striking?
Yeah, for sure. I actually started looking up tournaments up and down California to just I know they have the kickboxing tournaments coming up. They have Muay Thai coming up. I've been looking at tournaments just so I could get in there. I may get my ass kicked, but I think it'd be a good experience.
You get the experience, though. That's what matters.
Yeah, but those things, you could go up against someone that has the same experience as you do on the feet too. Yeah. So it's really, I think those are really, really good experience. Mm-hmm. I don't know about a tournament. That's hard, but just a single fight, like the IKF Muay Thai bouts they have, the amateur. It's, there's different rules there. It's like they say it's full contact, but sometimes they want to allow knees to the head or elbows. Certain organizations or promotions have different rules, but I think those are really good experience. I've done a bunch of those myself, and I feel pretty safe doing those too. Like I'm pretty confident in you can actually go in there and have fun and actually learn. As long as you're matched up properly, I think that would be a really good start if you ever wanted to do that. I think they're picking up again here in California. I think there's a couple at the end of next weekend. There's one in June. So they're making a comeback here because of COVID. They were off for a while. But they're coming back. I think you'd have a lot of options there. Those are pretty cool if you ever wanted to do something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. I did see a couple, especially after the MMA fights. There's going to be one right on that Saturday happening in Bakersfield, California.
Mm-hmm. Right, the next day.
Yeah.
So if you say you go in there and you sub your opponent easily, or you just gonna be like, all right, now I need to register for tomorrow so I can compete in that?
Yeah, so that's exactly my mindset. So that's exactly what I'm
see, yeah, that's what I like to hear.
There is no losing, you just learn. So that's exactly what happens.
So do you have any inspirations that maybe got you into fighting and competing? I know you said you did wrestling back, in high school and stuff. But as far as MMA goes and jiu-jitsu, do you have any idols that you look up to or study or that you really, really follow quite a bit?
So as far as idols, I look at, especially the UFC fighters, I look at them all as my competition. More similarly, I look at the guys my weight, like TJ Dillashaw, Joseph Benavidez, more so Cody Garbrandt. More so, I look at TJ Dillashaw's footwork. I look at Dominic Cruz's footwork. My coaches actually show me how I can implement that footwork into my striking patterns. But those are the three main fighters that I look at. More so TJ Dillashaw because he's almost the same exact body shape, everything that I have. So weight, everything. So I look at him as a model to base myself off of. And then as far as inspiration, honestly, it started from when I got bullied. So that's how I actually got into MMA and grappling and all that stuff. It started when I was bullied. So then I was like, hey, I need to defend myself. And then I just so happened to come across the movie Never Back Down. So
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I remember shortly after watching that movie, I was all pumped. And I had my little brothers, and I was like, hey, sit on my back while I do a push-up. Yeah. And then they would do it, and then I just do push-ups. And I was like, I think I could be that guy one day. And then I found wrestling in high school. My coach, Aaron Weary from Golden Valley High School, he coached me all through high school, and he would tell me, hey, you know what? You could actually put this into MMA, into the cage, and make a career out of it. And yeah, that's that. I didn't know that. So, I mean, it definitely progressed well. So I think like all the coaches, everybody who inspired me, it definitely portrayed into who I am right now.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I know getting bullied sounds terrible, but I guess, sometimes it's like a blessing in disguise where, some people that don't have to defend themselves cannot defend themselves and never will defend themselves. So, you get put in that situation and, you're forced to kind of learn some stuff to defend yourself because you have to. Sometimes I think people are better off having to do that rather than, never having to do it ever. Yeah. I've never gotten bullied or anything, but I found inspiration through movies also, Rocky and Cinderella Man are one of my favorites. But I've never had to defend myself, but I got really into it that way. But in a way, I was like, man, if I ever got bullied, that probably would have been a really good lesson for me to do that and maybe push me a little harder. But yeah, so when people say they get bullied, it's like, man, not that you're lucky, but that's pretty cool that, some people get forced to be put in that situation. And then, usually it never happens again.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
Well, I'm sure no one likes it, but, for the people that didn't have to ever do that, they don't know what that situation is ever like.
Now, I want to know, so you got into it because you were bullied. Did you ever use it on the bully? Did you ever like just shoot for a single, maybe go hit a double?
So, so it was more of a scare tactic. So when I started working out and I started
that makes sense.
To fight, they started pushing off of me and stopped bullying me, but they would bully those around me. So
they go after someone else.
So then I'd be like, hey, bro, why don't you just back up real quick? And then obviously he'd back up. But if there was a fight, I mean, I haven't had to use it in an altercation with a bully because I think they were just smart enough.
I understand that. I would see kids get bullied and I would defend them. I was always a big guy. Yeah. And so I would defend them. And honestly, this is going to sound really silly. Aside from watching early UFCs and not remembering anything about submissions, it was Ken Shamrock when he was in pro wrestling where I remembered submission holds.
Oh, man.
So it was older when I was in high school and nobody was bothering me that I was like, oh yeah, MMA. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, submissions. All right. Nope. Ken Shamrock in the WWE is where I learned like a lot of the stuff early on.
That's funny. Yeah. That's super funny.
So do you what is your schedule like? 'Cause I know you mentioned you work pretty hard. But as far as like work goes, are you having to hold down, a full-time job, also training, and how do you handle all that?
So I recently got promoted a couple months back to so I'm on salary, so I'm usually on call 24/7.
Mm,
So
yeah.
last week I was on
Blessing
night.
and a curse.
Yeah. So last week I was on night shift, and then this week I'm on day shift, and then midweek I turned to night shift. So honestly, it does suck, but I have to go train. So I have to get in there. And my coaches are real flexible with me. I send them a text, hey, I won't be able to make it in tonight. Can we schedule a session for like 10 a.m. in the morning?
Mm.
And then they'll be like, yeah. So they always open the doors up for me. Let me put the work in, give me workouts to do, and just get me motivated. They keep me motivated. So I'm tired, but they still push me anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And how about sparring? Do you do a lot of sparring? And if you do, what kind of sparring is it? I know some people go hard, some people go very light, whatever they seem is better for them. What's yours like?
So mine's more of I like to focus more on technique and precision. But I can definitely tell you at our gym, it's definitely not light. So it's definitely not light.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, training with them, bunch of tough dudes there. So I believe it.
Yo, they definitely put it on you. They definitely put you through the ringer. So, like when we go hard, we go hard. My sparring, like I said, is just a little bit different. I like to focus on technique. Now, if they're going hard, then I'll just focus on technique. And then I'll just, hey, okay, I got popped in the face. How can I prevent that next time? Maybe I should have moved that way or that way. So it's just little things, but at our gym, we definitely don't go light. Yeah.
It's so interesting. We talk to a lot of different people. Everyone does it different. There are some guys that say, yeah, we don't go light. I'm like, oh, okay. And then there's other guys that say, yeah, we don't go hard at all. It doesn't, sometimes it doesn't benefit them to go hard, to go a little bit lighter. But it's interesting to hear other people's perspectives on sparring and what works better for them. I think everyone should have to go through a little bit of hard sparring, not an unhealthy amount, where you're going to get hurt, but to definitely know what it feels like to really have to defend yourself and get into that deep water.
Oh, yeah.
And try to get through it. So that's interesting. We get a lot of different answers when we talk to different fighters as far as sparring goes. And I've done it all different ways. And I think it's good to do hard sparring sometimes so you know what you're getting into. And then, but healthier to go light so that you don't injure yourself.
Yeah.
You ever had any crazy injuries that you've ever had to deal with since you started?
I've dislocated my shoulder when I was grappling, and I popped it out, and we just popped it right back in, just continued going. But other than that was it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Sounds painful.
But yeah, that's mainly it. No really crazy injuries that I can think of. Just the arm popping out, and then that's it. But yeah, I still have that bump, so I don't know.
Oh, is that something that's always going to be there? That's never happened to me. I know it's happened to a lot of people. They're just I just popped it back in. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it will probably always be there, and it's I don't know why or what it is, but it's just always going to be there.
Yeah, I think once that happens, you're always prone, I guess, for it. But other people handle that one pretty well. The shoulder is not too bad, I guess.
Yep.
Better than a knee injury, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to be competing in MMA. How many fights do you anticipate having amateur before you decide to go pro?
Oh, a lot. So, I'm talking when I hit the ground running, I'm going to hit the ground running. So, just like I did with grappling, and just competing every weekend, same thing with MMA. I know everybody talks about it's bad to just go from one fight to the next fight to the next fight because you don't give your body rest.
Mm-hmm.
But my body's had rest. I have time to rest when I sleep. I take pretty good care of my body. Now, if you're injured, that's something different. But I don't see why I can't compete. So just same thing with fighting. I don't see why I can't fight every other weekend, maybe every other month, or maybe even every month. So when I do start fighting, it's definitely going to start being real constant, real active. I definitely want to be one of those fighters that is active, because why not? I love it. The fans are going to love it. And that's basically it. I mean, I love competing. I love the process.
Yeah, I guess for every weight class, it's kind of different. Like you said, you like to be active, and if you're not injured, yeah, why not? Some people like to take months off before even thinking about getting back in there. I think once you get a little bit to the heavier weight classes, the damage is a lot more. Some of those shots hurt a lot worse than if you were lighter. But yeah, we get a lot of different answers to that too. Like some people like to fight once or twice a year, depending on their level or if they're pro or amateur. And some people don't like to spend a lot of time doing amateur because they want to hurry up and go pro.
Yeah.
But you said you want to do a lot. Is that just because you want a huge resume to go in there with, or just experience? Or I know, sometimes they don't want to spend a lot of time doing amateur because why are you going to risk fighting amateurs possibly getting hurt rather than going right to pro? And, if you're on that level already, how do you feel about that?
So my thought process is, as far as like getting hurt, like you're gonna get hurt. I mean, even grappling, you're gonna get hurt. It's inevitable. So it doesn't bother me. And as far as the amount of amateur fights that I do want a lot, just because it's gonna be experience. Same thing with grappling. It's experience. And right now, I'm getting so much experience just grappling. Competition grappling is definitely different than grappling in the practice room.
Yeah,
learning
definitely.
what the coach is showing you. So, and as far as just going professional, I don't plan on going professional anytime soon. I just plan on fighting. Like that's really about it. I just want to put on a show. And like I stated earlier, you're gonna get hurt. So that's inevitable. Now, you can either prepare yourself and be the most prepared you can for that fight, or you could just not do anything and go in there and get hurt yourself. So the better prepared you are, I think that's going to decrease your chances of getting hurt.
Yeah, I think the more experience, the better, of course, given, the lesser of injuries. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, if a medical team or the medical doctors that have to like clear you after a fight, say you get your bell rung and you have a big opportunity, are you going to listen to the doctor? Or are you just going to be like, I had this big opportunity. I'm kind of messed up, but I'm going to do it anyways. What do you do?
So I'll listen to the doctor, and I can tell you why. And this may sound cocky, but I'm not just going to have one big opportunity. There's probably going to be several down the road. So
I like that thinking. You're right. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. It's not just they looked at you and now they're done looking at you. No, they're going to come back and look at you again. Just like with everybody else. Like it's going to happen again. So just be patient. Just be patient right now. Take care of yourself. And then eventually it will come. When it happens, it happens. But don't speed it up and get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
Now you talk about competing consistently. Are you going to say you get title opportunities? Are you just going to start collecting belts? Are you going to be like the Thanos of amateur MMA for the time being?
No, eventually I'll have to move up. Eventually, if I'm just dominating, I'll have to move up, because that's exactly what I want. I want to dominate, and then I just want to compete with the best. That's the same thing with grappling. Once I dominate my belt class and dominate my weight class, I want to move up. So same thing eventually with amateurs. After I'm done and then I'm collecting all these belts, then yeah, I do want to move up and be a professional, and then take it from there and just start dominating there.
Mm-hmm. How old are you?
I just turned 25.
Oh, perfect. You have so much time.
Yeah.
I was curious. I'm like, I bet he's super young. I bet he has all this time. That's why.
Yeah, that's That's why he's ready to rock and roll.
I think 25 is like the perfect age for anything, especially, anything athletic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty cool. I always find that I wish I had done anything athletic when I was young. Early school, sure. High school I didn't and stuff, but trying to get into fighting late, like when I was 21, like just starting.
Yeah.
I had wished that someone forced me to do this when I was like 15 or something, or even 10, I wish so. But that's good that you have a lot of time to think about that and get all the experience young, so you have a lot of longevity left. That's good. I think you're in the perfect spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, is there anybody that you would like to shout out? Any sponsors or anybody? Show some love to?
Yeah, so I actually have a list.
Perfect.
Hey! All right. I like that.
Like now.
Prepared. Yeah, screw it. Please, you have the floor.
Yeah. So they're not sponsors. The company that I work for, they wanted to sponsor me, Tactical Transport. I told them not yet, not till I start winning and start dominating, then you can sponsor me. But,
there you go.
That's responsible of you. Good.
Yeah. So, but I do have some shout outs, obviously to the gym that I train at, Hammer Down Fight Team. Shout out to Hammer Down Fight Team. There's no place that I'd ever want to train at. That's actually the gym that I went to go search for after I got out of the military, was Hammer Down Fight Team.
Nice.
So, shout out to Hammer Down Fight Team and everybody training and working there, coaches. Shout out to Cody Sons, Trey Branch, Coach Chris Pike, my jiu-jitsu coach, all my training partners. I'm not sure what all their last names are, but Jeremy, Anthony, Fernando, Enrique, just all of them. Just shout out to everybody. And then just a little personal shout out. Shout out to my brother Andrew Flum, his mom Suzanne Flum, my family, Thelma, Rocky Chambers, Zachary Chambers, Charlie Chambers. All these people made me who I am today. So as far as training, the man I'm going to be, just all of them contributed to who I am. So definitely that's my shout out. And that's really it. I appreciate all of them. I appreciate my coaches, all the family around me. And I've said it multiple times that those who come up with me are going to get theirs. They're going to get it back. So eventually it will come. It's just a matter of time. So just like I was saying with the big opportunities, okay, that one big opportunity might pass by, but there's going to be several after. So eventually it will come, and I'll be ready when it happens.
Great.
That is very true. And you're still young.
I know.
You have lots of time. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to add, Kaelyn?
I think I got in all my questions.
I think I got mine in too.
Definitely let us know how it goes. We'd like to keep in touch and, kind of follow you on your journey as well. So report back.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hear how you did in the grappling. I want to know. I'd like to hear that you used the head and arm. Yeah. Or, maybe you were like, you know what? Maybe I'll go for a leg lock. I listened to what James had to say, and I pulled a heel hook because it's something that you don't hear about anymore. So I think it'd be kind of nice.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Awesome.
All right, Braxton. Thank you for coming on. And you can check him out tomorrow at 559 Fights, competing in the grappling side, or next month in Bakersfield for MMA Fight Pass Cage Fights Volume 3. Yep. So thank you for joining us, and have a good one, man.
Awesome. Thanks, James. Thanks, Kaelyn.
Bye. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. That was cool. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I look forward to that because
I look forward to hearing from him and finding out how he did, and that's so
exactly
cool that we talk to him now before he starts his MMA career, and to see where he ends up.
Yeah, full on.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually pretty cool. He's tomorrow. That's crazy.
It's also interesting that he's more of a grappler because usually, he has the wrestling base, but he does more grappling. He's included that into it. So I think that's phenomenal.
It's perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Cool.
and then I also, let's see if I could do this real quick. I do have. Oh, I don't know if that's too loud. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
This is the commercial, the promo for the fights next month.
Throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. Like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made.
All right. That was the commercial. As you can see, all the information you needed was in the commercial.
Yeah.
Ticket prices, contact information, where the event was located in Bakersfield. Everything you needed to know was in that promo. So,
perfect.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Done. That's next month. I look forward to that, definitely.
Looks good.
And tomorrow night is 559 Fights. So for those that aren't doing anything, I mean, given here in the Fresno Clovis area, which we are located in, there's the Clovis Rodeo. But I'm sorry, that face is exactly how I feel about the rodeo every year. People love it. People eat it up. But I'm like, I don't care because guess what? That just means you're causing traffic issues.
Oh, dude. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's exactly every time I think of the rodeo, I'm like, crap, I can't go to Clovis this weekend.
That's it. Can't go to Old Town. Can't go out that way.
No, nowhere near Clovis Avenue between
bad.
Vernon and Shaw. It's
all
terrible.
bad.
Rodeo's not my thing.
Yeah.
I used to go when I was younger, drinking age, and it was okay. I actually never really enjoyed it that much, and it was honestly just a hassle. I'm like, I don't really want to go stand around in the dirt all day. I don't want to get stuck in traffic. I think I drove through there last time. Someone punched out my mirror for no reason, like just some drunk guy. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm not going to.
Please tell me you got out the car and beat him up.
No, I was.
Should have Mike Tysoned his ass. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I think someone was with me in my truck too. I don't know. I don't remember. It's so long ago, but I think I was sitting in traffic. Some guy punched my side mirror, and then the traffic started moving. So I'm like, I'm getting out of here. So I just left.
I would have hit those emergency lights and been like,
"You're like, hold on." No.
And then when I would have gotten out and saw he was taller than me, I'd been like, "That's not cool, man. Like, why'd you gotta do something like that?"
Yeah, I'm like, man, that was for no reason at all. I gotta get out of here. This place is stupid. And then I think like most of the times I notice it's raining when they have the rodeo.
Which, you know what? We need the rain, so let's have it rain let's have a rodeo all the time.
Yeah,
we can use the rain.
I know. But I think I've noticed the last, like, I don't know, few years or something that the Close Rodeo was going on, and people were asking me to go, and I'm like, I already was not going to go, but then it was raining too. I'm like, screw that. Yeah, I don't feel like sitting around in the dirt watching these fake cowboys and cowgirls walk around. It's like,
Thank
if
you.
I was in Texas,
Thank you.
Maybe in Texas that'd be like the thing to do, but it's Fresno and Clovis.
But you know what? That's over Fresno Clovis.
Yeah.
Visalia got what we enjoy, what we appreciate, and that's MMA. So go check it out. You get to see Braxton compete in the grappling competitions that they have going on. They're put on by Mike Moreno. He's the one who runs that. He does a great job matching people up. I've seen some pretty awesome stuff out there with 559 Fights. So definitely go check them out in Visalia at the convention center tomorrow night. I don't need to say it again. Tomorrow night. There you go. Today's Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday. The end. The 23rd. All right. Got a comment. Big Jane. What's up, man? How you doing? I heard you're gonna possibly be competing soon, huh? Is that the rumor? Is that what I've been hearing? Let me know. We'll bring you on the show. We'll talk about it. I'm very interested in that. All right. What else we got going on? Let's see. I have let me throw it up on there. Speaking, I mentioned Mike Tyson earlier because of what happened. Everybody's heard about it.
Yeah.
If you haven't, you live under a rock. Mike Tyson being egged on by a passenger, which had water thrown on him. Not Mike Tyson had water thrown on him. Some unruly passenger was just causing havoc to Mike Tyson, and he learned a really valuable lesson. You don't do that to the former boxing champion, Mike Tyson.
Yeah. Duh. What do you think gives people that confidence that it's okay to do that? To not just Mike Tyson, but to anybody.
This is going to sound super old school. Social media.
Really?
Social media, because people, they push the boundaries on things. And so, how am I going to one up that?
Video out of it, or?
I think so. Or a TikTok. Ugh.
Yeah.
How am I going to one up? I got to do something drastic.
I guess.
And so what happened? The dude was harassing Mike Tyson and then got beat up. Dude.
Yeah, I don't really? Even. I didn't know the whole story. All I saw was Mike Tyson punched blah blah blah. I'm like, oh crap, what happened?
There's also video of the guy verbally berating him.
I saw that later. I didn't.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even have time that morning. There wasn't a video on the attachment that I saw. It was just a picture. I was like, oh crap, what did Mike Tyson do? Like, is he going off the rails? And then I heard the full story and saw some of it, and I'm like, okay, well that guy deserved it, but also, it's crazy. Like, what? Do you think also that this guy had the confidence to do it because he thought maybe Mike Tyson wouldn't do anything about it because he is Mike Tyson and he could get in trouble?
Could very well be, but I feel like the incident had two people involved, so I feel like it was one guy egging it on, the other guy like, hey, like I'll record this for prosperity.
Yeah,
man. And man.
Poor Tyson though, like he can't go anywhere, you know.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, that's the thing I was telling some of my friends. I was like, you know what? All I ever would want to do is meet the guy, shake his hand, possibly get an autograph.
Move on with your
day. Maybe take a photo, and that's it. Not pester him, not berate him.
Oh, yeah. That's
like,
crazy. Like, you're egging on Mike Tyson to do what Mike Tyson does. That's not smart.
Exactly. Yeah. Duh.
Especially
so that guy,
he's a little strange nowadays. I think he's calmed down a lot, but also he's got that side where it's like, why are you going to poke the bear?
He's talked about that on Rogan.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he's like on his deathbed. If he's like this close to death, you know what I'm not going to do? Mess with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Like, just plain and simple.
Yeah, Mike Tyson even said he's like, I can't even hit pads without letting the beast come out, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then he did it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So that dude was an idiot. I even said that before I even knew he was egging him on. I was like, that dude did something stupid.
At all.
No.
It was bad.
No. I completely agree. Screw that guy. I'm glad he got punched. Too bad he get punched more, dummy.
I know that looks very minor right there. What happened to his little forehead? I wish maybe he had gotten a black eye or a broken nose because that could have easily happened also.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, from Mike Tyson.
All right.
Yeah,
And now we're gonna switch over to some other boxing news, but involving MMA fighters. Dan Hardy explains why he's boxing Diego Sanchez. Says fight has always been on the cards.
Oh, this is just boxing.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wanted to see some MMA with these guys.
No, Dan Hardy's been out so long. I knew it wasn't going to be MMA, but still, it's interesting that they're going to compete in boxing. Man. I mean, it's Dan Hardy. Like, I appreciated him in his MMA career.
Fighters do MMA.
I get that, but come on, his groundwork was never solid. Everything was in his hands, so I can see that.
But I mean, really, what you're going to see is a boxing. You're going to see two MMA fighters doing boxing, and it's not going to be like traditional boxing. It's going to be MMA boxing. It's like just do the whole MMA.
I get that.
If one was a boxer and one's an MMA fighter, yeah, I get that. Because then it's like a new challenge for the MMA guy. But both MMA guys doing a different sport, okay, whatever. I think it could be bigger if it was MMA.
And then with that, now who do you pick? Because Hardy hasn't competed literally in 10 years.
Sanchez for sure.
You know, the thing is I've always been a Dan Hardy fan, so I want to say Hardy, but the smart money's on Diego. He's just been battered and he's crazy now.
He's like Clay Guida, you just keep going. You never stop.
That's funny that you mentioned Clay Guida because he will be competing tomorrow night in UFC Fight Night.
Really? I didn't know
he really is. I believe, if I recall correctly, it's the last fight on his contract, but he's hoping to have a great showing to sign another 4 fights. So that will probably be the last contract he has with the UFC, and then he's probably done.
4 fights, that's good. I think.
Especially, I believe he's 40.
He says he feels better than ever, and he kind of looks like it too.
Yeah.
He's not.
That's because he's the carpenter because he's pseudo Jesus.
He is.
And he's with the wealth of experience he has at 37 and 18 competing against somebody who's 12 and 2. Man,
who else is he gonna fight? Who else is he gonna fight?
You're right. I mean, I feel like he's just gonna fight a bunch of toddlers soon because these kids keep getting younger and younger that he's competing against, but he does do well. So props to him. I actually hope he wins. I want him to win this fight.
I want him to win the rest of his fights. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's same. He's always been a huge favorite of mine, and the dude can go. So hopefully he just maintains and keeps it going until he's finished. And then we have Amanda Lemos versus Jessica Andrade. Number 1 versus number 10. I feel like that's a drastic jump in the way of competition right there.
Well, she only has 1 loss, but this girl has been on a pretty good streak. That's why she got this fight. And I didn't know that she was all the way number 10. I honestly thought she was ranked a little higher. I didn't really know, didn't pay attention. I just see her fight once in a while, and she always wins. So they were saying that this girl, she's on the up and up. I don't think I'd want to fight Jessica Andrade, but, you can do, I guess. Jessica Andrade has this one, I think. Pretty sure. I
completely agree. Do you see the tattoo on Jessica's arm right there of the Indian in the moon?
Oh.
That tattoo scares the shit out of me. Not this other one on Lemos. No, that doesn't bother me. That does.
Oh, wow.
Jessica scares the shit out of me, especially because she's number 1. Like, come on. And you're going from 10 to 1?
This is the girl that spiked rose on her head, remember?
Yeah. So, no. Jessica all day. And that's the main event for the UFC Fight Night card. We also have Macy Barber competing against Montana De La Rosa.
I am a huge fan of Macy Barber. Always been a fan of her ever since she got into the UFC. fighting on the Contender Series. She's been really, really good. I think she suffered an injury a while back and then lost that fight, and I forgot who it was against, but she lost. And then she came back and won again, so we'll see what happens. But Montana De La Rosa is good too. She's pretty tall, a tall fighter. So this will be interesting. I think Macy Barber would win this one if I was making a guess.
Barber is ranked 14th, and De La Rosa is not ranked at all. So, yeah. I mean, but there's a difference in win record.
Montana doesn't fight frequently enough, I don't think, but we'll see. I think Macy Barber has this one. I hope she does. I want her to win.
I agree. I take Barber in that one as well. And then there's some other fights going on, of course, on the main card. Let's briefly look through the prelims. Whoa, that's a name. Sorry, I just said my filter. I didn't have a filter, and it just kind of blurred it out. Sorry, y'all.
I don't know.
All right, nobody.
I don't know.
I mean, there's always people. There's always people to be on the lookout for. Yes. But with so many fighters competing right now, and we try to, at least for me, I like focusing on the regional area because that's what is more exposed to us here in Central California. So I'm more focused on, well, this guy is looking pretty good. That guy's looking pretty good. I see them moving on and whatnot. But whereas it comes to some of these fighters I've never heard of because they're starting out in the UFC. They're not from here, so I don't know them. So some of them like, man, I appreciate them. Don't get me wrong. But
yeah, we'll see.
It is what it is.
Cool. It's kind of cool that you can get an entire card of people you've never heard of before. That means there's so many fighters nowadays.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
No, it is. It's a great thing.
You're going to get some fight cards where you don't know anyone that's on there, and maybe they're good, maybe they're not, Yeah.
So, that's where they come in to develop their skill and hone, like, to really put on the fight of a lifetime, like a hell of a fight performance, So we'll see, because we will definitely see the highlights, that's for sure. And then we had last week's fights where Vicente Luque lost to Bilal Muhammad by unanimous decision. I'm not surprised. I had a feeling that's how it was going to go.
Bilal Muhammad is good. He usually gets it done. Yeah, I saw some of these. I didn't really pay attention to them that much. I was busy. It was on. I just was not only watching it. But I mean, I don't know. A lot of decisions there. You know, nothing crazy. The co-main event was pretty active. It was pretty crazy. Unanimous decision, but it was a good fight. I can't say that. Kyle Bohio, I think is his name. I think that grabbed a lot of attention from everyone that was there. I noticed. That's about it. I should probably go back and rewatch them, but nothing stood out to me really with these fights.
Now let's move on real quick to Bellator. There was fights last week. That shocked me. All right. I thought AJ McKee was going to take it, but Patricio Pitbull, nope.
That's what a lot of people said. Now, is this like a situation where he should have won and he didn't? Or
I didn't see the fight. I don't have Showtime, so I did not see the fight. I just saw the aftermath of it, and I was kind of floored because AJ McKee was, 18-0 at the time,
right,
and was just kicking ass. But it does set up for a trilogy. But yes, Scott Coker's like, not right now. Like, we got some other things to take care of.
Yeah,
we'll get there eventually. But I would like to see the finish to this trilogy.
Well,
since they're both 1-1. Yeah, now they're 1-1. Let's do it. If it's one thing, if one guy was 2-0 over him, no, we don't need a third.
Yeah, this one didn't
1-1. Let's see it.
Questions. Yeah.
And then Vadim Nemkov beat Corey Anderson. That was, if I'm right, there was an accidental headbutt, and then they called the fight.
Yeah, so I think what happened was it went to the ground, and I think Corey Anderson was going in for a strike, but then hit him with his head on accident. cut him open pretty bad. They stopped the fight. Yeah, that was I think Corey Anderson had that fight until that to that point. So it was pretty sad. But Corey Anderson was super humble about it.
Yeah, he was. I do remember that. But Nemkov is still your light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Pico, from what I've heard, had a phenomenal showing and looked fantastic in his fight. So congrats to him. There is also Bellator tonight. What is that?
I said, well, it's Aaron Pico, of course.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it. I mean, phenomenal fighter. You know, I think he's finally starting to hit his stride. So look forward to seeing his continued success. Now we're going to move on to tonight's card, which is the prelims, I believe, are already going on. I'm not watching them right now. We're going to talk about the only fight that really matters. Juliana Velasquez versus Liz Carmouche, or female Uriah Faber. Let's just be honest. Now, props to Carmouche being one of the first main contenders for UFC women's division. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Juliana Velasquez is going to retain in this. Carmouche has plenty of experience with 16-7, but with 12-0 for Velasquez, I feel like she's just going to retain.
Yeah, I think so too.
And then we'll just run through this. All right, the championship fight's the only fight we really care about right now. Sorry, guys, we're trying. We also only have so much time.
Same here. That's what I feel like too.
All right, so that was that. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Daniel Cormier thinks John Jones could have size advantage over Stipe. He's a big boy, he says. Yeah. Now, we were talking about this fight earlier in the week, that it seems like it's garnering more and more interest. I guess for me, until I see it, like this is going to happen, I don't care.
Well, I care because Dana White doesn't say stuff like that often. So if he's talking about it, I think that he's trying to get it done. And I think that this will happen because John Jones, I believe, can beat Stipe. And I think John Jones knows that. And I don't think I think that would be more incentive for him to take the fight, especially at a new weight like heavyweight, where he thinks he can have an advantage. I think that's a perfect fight for him, for both of them. I know Stipe hasn't been fighting and he's not on top anymore. I think John Jones would get it just based off of that.
But you can't tell me Stipe isn't still competitive.
No,
I feel like it would be a competitive fight, but it's John Jones. Like,
well, he'll be
John Jones is this
really is. But
he's this really odd built fighter that he'll just John Jones him.
I think so, yeah. I think it'll happen because I think John Jones knows that. And since Dana White, I believe, is trying to make it happen, but he doesn't announce things like that often, you know? Usually keeps it a secret if he's trying to work on something. But when he says, oh, that fight makes sense, and then you're seeing more and more about it, I feel like it's going to happen because that doesn't happen a lot with him.
I hope it does, but I'm not getting my hopes up until a contract is signed and we see some official news that, hey, this fight's taking place. Because all John Jones does is this, and the only person he's fighting right now is the courts. So until that happens,
I think he needs the fight.
Just wait.
He probably would like to make some money.
Yeah, lawyers are expensive. I'm pretty sure. I've never had to retain one. I'm pretty sure they're expensive. So
yeah, for his stuff, I'm sure.
Exactly. But that's going to do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm sure there's other stuff to talk about, but yet I don't think there was, because Mike Tyson dominated the news this week. So
I didn't hear about much else besides that.
We had everything else. We're good.
Yeah,
we're good. All right, that's going to do it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you guys next time.